Good morning and welcome to another Talklet's conversation. How many of you have ever watched the movie The Clash of the Titans? It's a movie that was produced back in 2010, and the storyline is based on Greek mythology. As a matter of fact, there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, every story that I've ever seen or read or watched when it comes to Greek mythology, it's like a ripoff of the Bible, using little gods. Because in this particular story, Zeus is the king of the gods, little g, make that very clear, little g. And he has a son that's born of gods, but he's raised by humans. His name is Perseus. And Perseus' whole family is wiped out by Hades, the ruler of the underworld. And so keep in mind now, Zeus is up in what they call heaven. He's not coming down to help, but you got this ruler of the underworld picking a fight with Perseus, who's not in tune with his powers. As a matter of fact, he's not even trying to use them because he's raised by humans. But Hades picks a fight with them because these gods are always picking on one another, trying to up one another. That's why they call themselves Titan, because they want to be the head Titan in charge. And so he picks on Perseus. He picks on Zeus' son. And Zeus is ticked. I mean, come on, you'd be ticked too. And so he's gathering up all the humans, all this courage. He's summoning up all the humans to try to get together to fight against Hades. And Hades comes to him and says, hey, look here. You know you guys can't defeat me. But if you give me Princess Andromeda, if you sacrifice her to me, then I won't release my mighty sea monster called the Kraken. And you don't want to mess with the Kraken. That's a bad boy. But listen to me. I told you nothing new under the sun. In the Bible, we have what we call the Leviathan, the mighty sea monster. I told you, it's just the same little ripoff from the Bible. To make a long story short, Zeus has to get involved because even though Perseus finally taps into his power, his strength, since he is a little god of Zeus' son, he's not enough. And so they defeat the Kraken, of course. Perseus makes that happen, and the world is saved because his father comes to his rescue. Well, we know that story, that Jesus comes to our rescue as well. But what I want you to do is focus on your marriage. So this is the message for this particular conversation. Your marriage. Your marriage is a clash of the Titans. Yes, I said it. I didn't say it was like or it was similar to. It's sometimes like it. No. Your marriage is a clash of the Titans. You've got two individuals, your wife and you, and you both consider yourself to be a Titan. Some people call it power couples. Let me know how that works for you, okay? But you both have what you call this Titan spirit. Let me tell you what takes place. You're both bringing that character, that personality. I mean, you bring all the stuff, your ideology. She's bringing her ideology, her life, her things she's been taught. She brings that to the marriage. And you bring your ideology. You bring all the things that you've been taught, all the things in life. You bring that to the marriage. And so you're clashing on ideologies. And then you bring your theology. She's a Baptist, you're a Methodist. I mean, you bring your religion to the union. You bring all that stuff. And so you're clashing. She brings her personal, if you will, culture. You bring your personal culture. And she's got some wicked things in her background. She's got some secrets she don't want to let out the closet. She's got some evil things, some things that she lusts after still. She's got stuff that she chases like strange fire, a strange thirst for certain things that you have no clue of. She's kept them to herself. You've got that same thing. You've got wickedness and sin all inside of you, stuff that you've been thirsting for that you don't want to tell nobody because it's so bad. And then guess what? And then you bring your daddy demons into the relationship. She brings her mother witches into the relationship. You see what I'm saying? We keep stacking up on top of this beautiful institution that God created called marriage. Here come all this stuff though from just life and just living this life. You're raised with a father and mother in the home. So you know what a household looks like. She's raised with a single parent, either mother or father. Both parents are not in the household. So she has this dynamic, if you will, personality from what a house should look like when she's trying to make your house a home. But you have this dynamic of understanding what a house looks like because you've been in one with both parents. So here comes more clashing. That's not enough though. She brings her girlfriends into this whole union that you have with her. You bring in your boyfriends, you're bringing your dudes, So you both are bringing in other people, other interests into your union. And so that's why you have so many what I call clashes in your marriage. Now, God created the institution of marriage, so he didn't make any mistakes. And all these differences, because let's be for real, women, you're so different than us. I mean, we're not your girlfriend. We don't ever want to be it. But you're so different from us, and we're so different from you because God created us different. And when he created us, he gave us roles, roles. He gave us both roles. And if we stay in our roles, if we stay in our lanes, we'll be fine. But because of the curse in the garden, because of Adam and Eve, because Eve was deceived and God cursed them, then there's a curse. Women, that you will want to usurp your husband's power, his authority, and rule over him. And let me tell you something, that's a bad place to be. Because if you start thirsting, if you start thirsting for his role, his rule, guess what? Then you're thirsting behind the curse. Now, we should be over living in the New Testament, if I'm right, upon their mercy and grace. But some of you drag this curse over into your marriage because of what the world is saying. And I'm going to tell you, keep the world out of your marriage. What did Will Smith say? Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Keep keep it out of your marriage. I'm telling you, you'll have a beautiful marriage. Because see, the world is full of deception, full of lies, full of sin and evilness. So why would you want to drag that dead thing over into your marriage? We do. We do all the time. Because let me tell you why. I don't want you trying to play a role, ROLE. I want you to be in your role. I want you to perfect your role. If you can perfect your role, your husband perfects his role, guess what? Then God will rule. God will rule and reign. Because he's designed both of us for our roles. But we want the other person's role. I think I can do my wife's role better than she can. She thinks she can do my role better than I can. Let me tell you something. He didn't make us for those roles. If he wanted you to be in your wife's role, he'd have made you for that. He didn't give you what he gave her. He didn't give you what he gave your husband. He didn't give that to you. So you can't get in this role. You can't try to rule him because you can, but a real man not gonna ever let you rule him. Not a real man. So to keep doing that, it's called insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So you're becoming insane trying to rule him. Now, we all are going to pour at each other. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. I'm going to help cultivate you. You're going to help cultivate me. You're going to prune some things out of me. I'm going to prune some things out of you. But you can't get into my role. You can't mess with this role because this role is my role. And if you try to get into it, you're distracting me from my role. And see, then we start talking about, but then who's going to rule? Well, God's already said that. Why are you messing with that? See, that's our problem. We mess with stuff we shouldn't be messing with. Now you're trying to be a titan. You can't have two titans. I just told you, Zeus is the titan. He's the titan. God is our titan. We know who that is. What are you trying to do in your household? What are you trying to do? Let me define titan for you. It's someone who has influence, someone who is powerful. That's why God created your husband for you. Someone who influenced in certain fields, like Albert Einstein. He was a titan in the world of science. When you look at Michael Jordan, some say he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, but he was considered a titan in the world of basketball. When you look at Bill Gates, a titan in the world of technology. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, a titan in the world of e-commerce and online retail. And then, of course, Oprah Winfrey, a titan in the world of media. So you can have titans in all kinds of walks of life. But when you come to a marriage, come on. You got to be in your role. I don't want to say play your role because that's not good. That's the wrong thing to say. You've got to be in your role. The world says play a role so you can be deceptive. The Lord is saying, I want you to cultivate your role, perfect your role, the role that I gave you, the role that I developed you for, designed you for, created you to be in. I want you to perfect that role. If you perfect your role and your husband perfects his role, oh, you're talking about a power couple? You're talking about a power dynamic? Go with me to the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 22. This is one of those verses where we all can just shout about. I mean, the men shout, the women shout. I mean, we all just kind of shout together. But let's see what Solomon is really saying. Let's just kind of break this down. So let me just slow up just a little bit for you. He who finds a wife, there goes that shout. Women shouting right now. Finds a good thing. Now the man is shouting a good thing because he wants to enjoy his good thing physically and visually. I mean, all day long. And obtains favor from the Lord. Now let me slow it down just a little bit more. He that finds a wife finds a good thing. and obtains favor with the Lord. You didn't see it, you didn't hear it, but there's a rule in play here, and there's a role in play here. And then it closes off with another rule. Let me show you. It didn't say she, he. It's a rule. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. That's a role that she's in, a role that she's perfected herself to be in as a wife, as a woman who desires to be a wife. She knows the role that she has to be responsible for, cultivating herself, being cultivated by her mother, to be in her role, being cultivated by her father, teaching her. See, you see the role? That's the role. Same thing with men, that's the role. And then it closes with another rule, and obtains favor with the Lord. Now, I love this one. This backing in obtains favor. I don't think we deal with this enough. Let me tell you what I think God is really saying here. God is saying, Donnie, I owe you one. You hear me? He says, Donnie, I owe you one. I owe you a favor. I said, what for? You married my daughter. You took my daughter out of these streets. You took my daughter, from singleness to be married. Nothing wrong with singleness. Don't get me wrong. But God is saying, I got something for you, though. I got favor for you because you're marrying my daughter. You're going to treat her good. God is saying, Donnie, I'm going to give you an extended warranty on favor. Jesus. Do you hear me? That's where we want to be. There's a rule. He that findeth. There's a rule in play. There's a role that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing, a good thing, a role that she has within her to build and to bless her husband all the days of his life and her life too, and obtain favor with the Lord. Now here comes the last rule. That rule. And then we do what we always do. We go back over to the Old Testament and we drag over chapter 3 out of Genesis, where the Lord is cursing Adam and Eve because Eve was deceived and Adam listened to her voice. And God says, I'm going to give you labor pain, Eve, when you have children. He says, and your desire is going to be to rule, to take away your husband's power, to try to usurp it from him. And then he tells Adam, I'm going to give you pain. Look at, they both get labor. She has labor pain for childbirth. He has labor pain for tilling the ground. He says, you're gonna dig up all this dirt and rocks, and you're gonna find nothing good to grow. He said, I'm gonna give you some pain. You're gonna have to really push down deep to get something to come up out of this ground. See, that's where we go. Why would you want to live up under the curse? That's the curse. That's the curse. Why are we coming over to the new covenant where Jesus says, I got mercy and grace for all of y'all? Why are we living up under Proverbs 18 and 22? He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Not a curse thing, a covenant thing. And obtain favor with the Lord. That's where I'm living at. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be up under the curse. I do not want no part of that. But some of you are living up under the curse. You're dragging a dead thing over into a new thing. How's that working for you? It's not working for you. I'm telling you, it's not working for you. You've got to let your husband be in this role while you're in your role, perfecting your role. Let him do what he has to do. Hey, you married him. Trust him. Trust in the Lord. Who are you going to allow to rule your marriage? The curse or the covenant? I'm telling you, if you stay in your lane, I'm telling you, if you stay in your lane and you embrace your role, guess what? Then God's going to rule over both of you, over your union. That's what you want. But so many of us need your deliverance. I'm just going to say it. Believers and non-believers alike, you need deliverance. You need deliverance from yourself, from the culture you came up out of, from women who told you men are no good, from men who told you women are no good. I mean, you need deliverance because God is telling you He wants you to have something special. He don't want you messing with that. As a matter of fact, He tells Adam, I think it's in Genesis 2 and 24, He says, Adam, leave your father and mother and cleave to your wife, and y'all become one flesh. You know what He's saying? He said, I want you to leave all that stuff behind. Yeah. He told Abraham, leave your daddy, leave your daddy's country, leave your daddy's kin folks, leave them all. I got a new thing for you. I want this new thing God has for me. I don't want that old stuff. I don't want how you grew up and what you did with your marriage. I don't want that. No. I don't want the clashes and crashes that you had in your marriage. I don't want none of that. So I don't want that poured into me. I mean, I live with it enough, but I want to make sure I abandon that. I want to make sure that I hold on to my bride. Yeah, I want to cleave to her. I want to leave all that and cleave over here. You ever realize that he tells the man, he says, leave your father and mother and cleave to your wife. He never tells Eve to leave her father and mother. Because when you marry your husband, your father gives you to your husband. He says from one father to another father. See, your husband is always a father. I don't care who he is. He's always a father because there are going to be father moments in your life that you're going to need a father, and he might be the father you need. See, he should be looking up to the father. It says, leave your father and mother. Don't disown them, but leave them. I need you to deal more with me directly, Donnie, than with your earthly father, your biological father. Yeah, he's there, of course. He's got wisdom, but I need something between me and you. So I need you to leave. Your wife will always have her father because if he raised her right on his knees, she knows not to bring him no mess. She's always coming to you. She's always telling what she's saying to her father. She's speaking life to you from her father. See, what a blessing. I want a woman. I want a wife who's been raised by her father. Oh my gosh, what a blessing. Because she knows so much stuff to steer away from. I want someone who's been raised by their mother the right way. Yeah, not calling your dad a deadbeat. No, you don't want anyone like that. You got to cut that stuff off. That's why you leave that stuff. Adam, leave your father and mother and cleave to your wife. Let me tell you something. This is where blood is thicker than water, but you have to realize when God gave Adam Eve, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. What a beautiful thing. But we're not bone of bone and flesh of flesh because my wife is from a whole other family. So she's not my blood. My daughters, my son, my grandchildren, those are like my blood. They come out of my blood, you know. My granddaughter opened my eyes up one day when she was telling me about Mother's Day one year. She was saying, Granddaddy, why are you buying Gigi all these presents and why are you taking her out? She's not your mother. Now, that was an eye-opener for me. It's like, whoa, I mean, I guess that's a true statement. My daughter's heard it, and my daughter said, okay, we'll take care of that from now on. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And so what she was telling me was, Gigi is adopted into the family. So her grandmother, my wife, she's adopted into the family. That's why God says, leave your father and mother and cleave so that you guys can become one flesh. Because he wants you to feel that. He wants her to feel that. He wants her to feel so vulnerable. She knows how to give herself to you completely. But if she doesn't, she will not. So God said, you got to leave some stuff. You've got to forsake all. Even your little granddaughter who jumps up in your lap and try to get between you and your wife. You got to leave. You got to forsake her. She knows what she's doing, the Liberty Angel. No, she a little angel, all right. She knows what she's doing. She's trying to bring something between you guys. You put your kids and your grandkids over to the side and you cleave to your wife. Because see, no one should come between you and your wife. No man should put this asunder. No, not this union that God put together. Not even your little granddaughter. Not your little daughters or sons. Because those little manipulative rascals, oh, they up and no good. And they're going to leave you one day. They're going to leave you, and you and your wife going to look at each other, and y'all going to be lost because y'all haven't spent no time with each other because y'all been giving all your time to those kids, those grandkids. So God said, he says, cleave. Yeah. Go snuggle with your wife. Yeah. Go cuddle with your wife. You cleave to her. That way you guys will never leave each other. See, you're not cleaving. That's why you're clashing and crashing. That's why divorce is so high, because you're crashing into each other, because you don't believe in the principle of cleaving. No, you sure don't believe in the principle of leaving because you just can't leave them. I'm not leaving my mom and daddy for nobody. See, that's a statement you're making. So guess what? That's why you're clashing and crashing all over the place. That's why you don't have anybody right now. That's why you're lonely. That's why you're single probably. And that's why your mental state is messed up. Your ideology needs to be rewired. So if you want someone, wow, then you need to be cultivated. Women, make sure you put yourself in places and spaces to be seen. I mean, how can he find you if you're not out and about? Well, the Lord will bless me. He will bring someone to, no, he's not bringing anyone into your house. You better get out there and you better enjoy your life so that he can see you and find you. Someone asked me the other day, well, Donnie, can I find my wife on Tinder or can I find her on these apps? Look, let me tell you something. You find her where you find her. I mean, your mama could introduce you to somebody. It could be a blind date. And for most of us, can I be honest? We didn't marry a wife. We married a woman. Some of us married just a girl, okay? She wasn't a wife. You wasn't a husband. But for most of you didn't marry a wife. And so your wife, the good thing had to be, cultivated over time to become a wife within your marriage. Yeah, he that findeth a wife, come on. Can we be honest? You found a woman. You found a woman who was fine and pretty and sexy. Yes, that's what you found. You didn't find a wife. She wasn't a wife yet, but you took her. You wanted her, and she took you. because you wasn't a husband yet. So he that findeth the wife findeth a good thing. We found women, most of us, and they matriculated into wives over time. It was a journey. It was a season. It took some trying times. Wouldn't it be beautiful if you married your wife and she was a wife already? Wow, Jesus. How awesome would that have been? You would have been a husband already. Wow, how beautiful. But most of us didn't. Can we just be honest? Most of us didn't. And that's why you have the clash of the titans. It's because you married a woman and not a wife. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that she can't matriculate into a wife, because she can. It's a journey, though. It's a journey. It's a long road. Let no one fool you. There's some stuff inside of her you're going to have to prune out, and she's going to have to let go. There's some stuff in you you're going to have to prune out, cut out, divorce, and let go. That's a journey. Along the way, you're going to clash. But look here, don't crash. It's one thing to clash, but don't crash. There can never be two titans. I don't care what no one say. We're a power couple. You're going to power struggle is what you're going to do. You don't want to be a power couple. That's all about money in most cases. What you want to be is you want to be a covenant couple. That's what you want to be. Oh, yes. You want to be a covenant couple. King Lemuel, and who can find a virtuous woman? The virtuous woman? Well, it takes a virtuous man. King Lemuel was taught by his mother how to be a virtuous man. Have you been taught how to be a virtuous man? Are you ready for a wife, a virtuous woman? Yeah. See, some of you women looking at me and saying, well, how do I be no virtuous woman? That's too much work. Well, you just stay where you are then. Because every man wants a virtuous woman. And I pray that every woman wants a virtuous man. I mean, a husband and a wife. You couldn't find a better union. He that findeth a wife findeth a beautiful thing, a good thing. Every man wants that good thing so he can unwrap it visually and physically all day long. And most of us, we got some bad things. We got some sad things. I'm just serious. We got some messed up things. I mean, because we jumped in it and we didn't realize she ain't wife material yet. And she don't want to be one. She still hang with her girlfriends and they don't want to be one, so they're keeping her out there. Women, yes, it's time. It's time to realize in order to receive, you must leave. You must leave. In order to receive the promises and the blessings of God, you got to leave the curse so that you can be up under the covenant. You can't stay out in these streets. I mean, you can, but you're never going to find that man who's going to be a great husband to you. Keep in mind, marriage was never meant to fix you. Let me say it again. Marriage was never meant to fix you. It was meant to fit you in up under the covenant of God, up under the institution of marriage. That's what it was meant to do, to fit you in your right place, connected to the right person with that covenant that God has over you. Come on. And your husband's obtaining favor because of you. Please. Man, let's not get this twisted now. I told you, most of us married a woman. And so he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, a good thing, a good thing. God said, I gave you one ingredient of the cake, a good thing. One ingredient of what she can be. She can be more than a good thing. See, it's like a cake, chocolate cake, carrot cake. You don't want an upside down cake, not in this particular analogy. No, you don't want something upside down. You want her to be, yes, on one accord. You want her to have a mind, a head on straight. Because she's got one ingredient that you're already getting, a good thing. But there's so much into her to tap into. She's got nurturing skills. She's got cultivating skills. I mean, come on. She got so much inside of her that God has blessed her with. You want all of that and then some. But like a cake, you can't leave out all the ingredients. The good thing is one ingredient. God says you're going to have to help cultivate her, help purge her, help prune her, and yourself as well. You guys have to grow together to where all those things inside of a cake come together to make a good cake. And we know we love a good tasting cake. Well, hey, your wife is a good tasting thing as well. You need to enjoy your wife. You need to pour into your wife to where she can become that good thing in your life. That's what you need. Most of us, though, we're leasing our wives like we do rental cars or we do cars. You know, I want a 6-month lease automobile. Or I want a 12-month lease automobile. So I'm just going to, and I'll get rid of her and get someone else after 12 more months. That's what we're doing. We're leasing women that's up there like rental cars. That's not what marriage is about. Marriage is until death do us part. Where y'all get this mess from? From the world. And that's why your marriage is so messed up. So many of us need counseling. Before marriage, in marriage, I'm telling you, need counseling big time. We need someone to show us how we need to get from up under the curse, bury the curse, and embark on a journey, of freedom, of peace, of harmony in marriage up under the covenant that Jesus have blessed us with. We need the Holy Spirit to tabernacle with us 24/7 is what I'm trying to say. And we're shutting him out. We have him on the outside looking in because we're trying to be the Titan of our life. No, Holy Spirit, no, be the Titan in my life, not me. Don't let me drive because I'm wrecked. I can't even get insurance. I wrecked my life so much I can't even get insurance no more. You need to let God bless you. You need to be a blessing to yourself and to everyone around you. Your children are watching the way you treat their mother, the way you treat their father. And that's where he that findeth a wife is so instrumental. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. And everyone around you can see the good thing evolving. And he obtained favor with the Lord. Everyone can see the favor he has, that extended warranty he has with God. It's like, man, they're always blessed. Well, because guess what? They stayed in their roles. They didn't try to rule. See, the Greek mythology gods all tried to rule, and they're running all crazy. It's kind of like Lucifer did in heaven. He tried to rule. He tried to usurp God's power. And you see what they got him kicked out of heaven. He failed. And he's going to live a life, eternity, full of fire and brimstone. I pray you don't crash your own marriage because you're just having too many clashes of bringing your past into your future. Let me ask you this question. Who will rule your marriage? The curse or the covenant? You be blessed.